Assalamu alaikum, dear students. How are you? Can you all hear me? Sufyan says, Assalamu alaikum, ma'am, your voice is not hearing. I'm not a ma'am and the sentence is not correct, Sufyan. So, watch it, beta. चलें जी सर मेरी आवाज़ सबको आ रही है सबसे पहले मुझे ये बता दें ओके ठीक है जी So let's have a bit of revision from the last class what we started off and then we will have a bit of आज हम लोग की पूरी कोशिश होगी कि हम एक पास पेपर्स लाजमी सॉल्व कर लें ठीक है तो this is the revision first of all clear okay let me make the screen a bit more clear for you Challenging. So in the last class we discussed, we started off with the narration and we said that there are two types of narration. The first one is called direct narration and the second one is called, my dear friends? You need to talk to me guys. The second one is called indirect narration. Sir, अगर हम किसी की बात को as it is आगे पहुंचाते हैं without any changes, without any kind of alterations, we are using direct narration or indirect narration? So we're using direct narration and direct narration is also broken up into two parts. The first part which is outside the inverted commas is called reporting speech and the one which is inside the inverted commas is called the जल्दी से बता दें सर it is called the reported speech बिल्कुल ठीक है जी So in essence इसको अगर summarize करें तो in direct narration we repeat the actual message of the speaker without any kind of changes without any kind of modifications we say as we heard the message So Sarah said to me, you are wasting my time. This Sarah said to me part is the reporting speech and this part which is inside the inverted commas is called the reported speech. However, on the indirect narration, we repeat the message of the speaker in our own words, but we do make sure that we do not change the meaning, the message, the actuality of the message should not be changed. There is no broken part. There is no division in reporting and reported speech. It is a one single whole sentence. ठीक है जी. Here we have a comma which separates the reporting and reported speech, and in indirect narration we have that which is replacing comma. And in summary, we concluded that there are 7 types of changes that we go through. We remove the punctuation, we remove the inverted commas. There is a change of tenses, there is a change of pronouns, and there is also a change of general adverbs like indicators of time and place, like here and there, now and then. ठीक है जी. Then we talked about ये सारी बात हो गई जी. ये वाला part है आपका reporting speech, and this is the reported speech. Reporting speech is the version or the person who's telling you what the matter is, and reported speech is the actual matter. Then we talked about the rules regarding tenses. हमने कहा जी there are 3 main basic important rules that you need to understand in order to have a grip on tenses. How you will maneuver or change the tenses, it is basically dependent upon these 3 basic rules. So before I show you the rules, I want you to tell me the rules. If the reporting speech is in present or future tense, what will we do with the tense of the reported speech? Do we change it? Do we let it be? Do we keep it as it is? Sab batayenge ji please. Zahra, we will not change it. If the reporting speech is in present or future, the tense of the reported speech will never change. It will stay as it is. For example, he will say, I am happy. Everything else is changing except tenses. हमने pronoun को भी change किया, हमने punctuations भी change किए हैं, but we are not changing the tenses. Is this clear now? Everyone? All right. So then we said that the rule number 2 was something like this, and I will tell you the half of the story, and then you have to complete it. If the reporting speech is in past tense, what do we do then? Sir, it will change into future, it will change into past, it will change into present, or what will change? The tense will change into So the tense will change into past, but according to some conditions, right? So take a look at this one. Because we have the reporting speech, he said is in past, and because of this reporting speech in past, we will change the reported speech into past accordingly. ठीक है जी, इसका एक हमने एक बड़ा सा टेबल भी देखा था, उसको भी आज समराइज कर लेंगे. So I am happy is in present simple and it has been changed into past simple. He was happy. The tense is changing, the pronouns are changing, the punctuation is changing, and everything is changing, right? In this particular case, the tense of the reported speech is in past, so I am okay changes into past simple. क्लियर है जी? यहाँ तक ये सारी बातें वो हैं जो हमने लास्ट क्लास में डिस्कस की थी. All right. So then we talked about rule number 3. Sir, if the reporting speech is in present or future, we do not change the tense of the reported speech. If the reporting speech is in past, we change the tense of the reported speech into past, but accordingly, according to some conditions. But if the reporting speech is in past and there is a universal truth, habitual action, or idiom, what do we do then, guys? Sir, there shall be no change. तो अगर लिखा हुआ था अंदर man is mortal, the sun rises in the east, 2 and 2 makes 4, tit for tat, every cock fights best on its own, danghill या किसी इस तरह की कोई चीज, तो sir we will not change it. The condition is it has to be a universal truth, it has to be an idiom, it has to be something like a habitual action. ठीक है? Take a look at this. So these are the 3 basic rules of tenses. यहां तक सब सेम पेज पर है. Everyone is clear on this part. All right. So moving on, we had 3 basic rules of pronouns. So rule number 1 was speaker of reporting speech will affect the first person of the reported speech, right? Here the speaker is she, so this first person I is changing according to the speaker, and the tense is also changing because of the rules that we have already discussed. ठीक है जी. Similarly, listener of the reported speech of the reporting speech will affect the second person of the reported speech. यानी यहाँ पर जो me है उसने affect किया किसको? You को, and because of this me, this you has been changed into I. The tense is changing because the reporting speech is still in past. कोई confusion इसमें बेटा? ठीक है जी. सर आगे बढ़ते हैं थोड़ा सा. And the third person stays as it is. So if I'm talking to Parmesh about Vidya, everything will be changed, but Vidya will stay as it is. All right? That's the third set. That's the rule of the third person pronoun. All right. So this is an extension of rule number 2. कि अगर बाहर रिपोर्टिंग स्पीच में पास्ट है तो हम अंदर कैसे चेंजेस करेंगे. तो रिमेंबर दिस टेबल, दिस एंटायर टेबल इज लिंक्ड विद द रूल नंबर 2 ऑफ टेंसेस. सर इफ वी हैव past in the reporting speech and reported speech shows any of these tenses, हम उसको क्या करेंगे, हम उसको अपने ही past में ले जाएंगे. ठीक है? If the reporting speech is in past and the reported speech shows any of the form of will, तो हम उसको क्या ले जाएंगे, हम उसको word में ले जाएंगे. And if the reporting speech is still in past, यानी inverted commas के बाहर वाला एरिया जो है वो past में है और अंदर past simple दिखता है तो उसको सिर्फ past perfect में ले जाएंगे. past continuous दिखता है तो उसको past perfect continuous ले जाएंगे, और should होगा तो उसको भी would में ही लेके जाना चाहिए because आपका subject भी already change हो चुका है. ठीक है, अभी एक सेंटेंस सोच के रखना, उसमें should ऐड करेंगे फिर देखेंगे क्या करना उसको. सही है, इसको प्रैक्टिकली भी देख लेंगे. क्लियर हो गया रीबा? चलें. अच्छा, इसके अलावा सर कुछ जनरल चेंजेस होते हैं, यानी दीज आर द चेंजेस ऑफ एडवर्ब्स बेसिकली. एडवर्ब ऑफ टाइम, एडवर्ब ऑफ प्लेस कैसे होगा, तो हम क्या करेंगे सर, टुडे चेंजेस इनटू दैट डे, यस्टरडे बिकम्स यस्टरडे और द डे बिफोर, टुमारो बिकम्स द नेक्स्ट डे और द फॉलोइंग डे. इसी तरह इज एम आर यानी पास्ट सिंपल या पास्ट कंटिन्यूस, प्रेजेंट सिंपल या प्रेजेंट कंटिन्यूस आता है तो हम उसको चेंज करेंगे पास्ट के अंदर. Every modal verb will go into its own past. Yani will becomes would, can becomes could, must becomes had to, ago becomes before, this becomes that, and so on and so forth. Is this point clear, everyone? All right. So then we talked about types of sentences. I want you to complete my sentences now. If we have a sentence which contains universal, no, sorry. If we have a sentence which contains, जी बिल्कुल model verbs भी पढ़ेंगे, बिल्कुल पढ़ेंगे. If we have a sentence which contains a question, sir, किस type of sentence में deal कर रहे हैं हम लोग? We have an interrogative sentence. Now, again, interrogative sentence can be of two types. It can be a confirmative question. For example, do you know who I am? Uh, are you okay? Are you going home? So, ऐसे questions जिनके answer yes or no में निकलते हैं, so we call them confirmative questions or polar questions, close-ended questions as well, right? And the questions that we have that start with WH, why are you doing that? Where are you going? Who's that person? That gives you a piece of information. That can be open-ended questions. That can be informative question. And remember, Sumaima, all WH questions are not open-ended questions. All right. Close-ended and open-ended questions का इतना सब फर्क होता है कि open-ended questions gives you a lot of information. All right. So informative and confirmative याद रखते हैं. So if we have a sentence which contains a blessing, a curse, what kind of sentence are we dealing with? Come on, people. Let me make it a bit more simpler. Okay. So we are dealing with optative sentence. Manisha Akash is the only one who gave the correct answer. Salim, exclamatory sentences are the sentences which contains a feeling of joy, happiness, sorrow, anger, love. Those sentences are called exclamatory sentences. Now, if your sentence contains an instruction, an order, an advice, तो हम बात कर रहे हैं, we are dealing with imperative sentences. All right. So, sir, a declarative sentence is a sentence which contains a statement. For example, I am at ARTT. My name is Alvin. I am not teaching current affairs. It can be a positive sentence. It can be a negative sentence. If a sentence contains an order, a command, instruction, it is called an imperative sentence. If a sentence has if a sentence has a question, it is called an interrogative sentence. Usually, this part is the favorite of examiner, even in CSS. All right. Exclamatory sentence is a sentence which contains a feeling of joy, happiness, sorrow. And the last part is operative sentence, which is a sentence containing a wish, a blessing, or a curse. ठीक है जी. Now, in the last class, we converted some declarative sentences. ठीक है. तो अगर हमने वो कर लिया तो हम I would want you to change some sentences for me right now. In a declarative sentence, said to changes into told. We never say told to, and said to will be converted into told only when there is a speaker as well as a listener in the sentence. If it is only said, then let it be. If it is only tell or tells, let it stay as it is. Right. The connecting word is that, and there is no further thing to remember in this one. All the rules of tenses will stay as it is. All the rules of pronouns will stay as it is. If you did some practice, then you will be able to do this, to convert this very easily. तो मैं चाहूँगा कि आप लोग जो हैं ये 5 sentences take 2-3 minutes and convert all of them, and then we'll go back and we will talk about the answers of this one. ठीक है जी? You have 3 minutes. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, today we will have to solve a past paper. Okay? All right. So, should we convert this now? अच्छा मुशाहिदीन को मेरी आवाज नहीं आ रही. Can everyone hear me? Just a quick check. Is my voice loud and clear? सही है बेटा. Everyone can hear me. ठीक है. Now you can also hear me. That's great. Let's convert this. और मैं आपके साथ ही convert करूं. This now. अच्छा मुशाहिदीन को मेरी आवाज नहीं आ रही. Can everyone hear me? Just a quick check. Is my voice loud and clear? सही है बेटा. Everyone can hear me. ठीक है. Now you can also hear me. That's great. Let's convert this. और मैं आपके साथ ही convert करूं. Give me a quick second. All right, can you see the new screen, everyone? Okay, so let's convert this one first. She said that she had taken the book home with her. Is this the correct answer? All right, ठीक है. Does your answer match with this? ठीक है. So moving on, the chairman said that it gave him immense pleasure to be there that evening. Does this answer match with yours? Right. अच्छा, अब इन सिचुएशन में मैं बोलूंगा कि the second that you have, it should be optional. Right? Don't take two that's. It seems very awkward. Right? So one that is sufficient. The other that you have, it can be converted into, it can stay as it is. It can stay it. Something that pleases the sentence. Something that is, grammatically aesthetic. Something that appeals to the common sense. Moving on, he said that he would leave as soon as it was possible. Now, Ariba, I think this is the perfect example to address your problem. Now, according to the rules, we should change shall into should, right? But the pronoun has also changed, and we do not use shall with he or it or they or any third person, right? That is why we automatically changed should into would. If Ariba is listening to me, can you please respond if you understand this? All right, ठीक है जी, आगे बढ़ते हैं. The sun rises in the east, said my mother. So this is a universal truth. It comes under the domain of rule number 3, so we should not change it. It should stay as it is. So it should go. My teacher said that the sun rises from the east. Easy to understand. And does this match your answer, everyone? All right, next one. He told us that his father was a doctor and his mother was an engineer. Is this answer clear? Acha ji, in the first sentence, why did we use past simple? Why not past perfect? What is the first sentence? The initial question हमारा जो है भाई वो है किसमें past simple में and it should go into past perfect and we have done that. Past simple किसमें जाता है उसामा? Past simple जाता है आपका past perfect में and that is what we have done. If this declarative sentence part is clear, should we move on to the next part, next type of sentence? Chala. So I am removing this and the next type of sentence is interrogative sentence. An interrogative sentence is a sentence and which has a question in it. So in this particular one, we can change the part said to part should be changed into asked or inquired. Both the spellings are okay. But I always tell my students that if you do not have any compulsion, asked is perfectly fine. ठीक है जी. Then there are other ways of doing that which we will discuss while we are doing the past paper. So this time the connecting word has a condition. Now if we are dealing with a confirmative question, for example, if it is starting with a helping verb like are you okay, have you done my job, are you coming to the party, is he fine, if we are dealing with a confirmative sentence we will use if or whether, right? And if we're dealing with an informative sentence which starts with when do you get up, where do you live, why are you so sad, then we will use that very same WH word as it is, right? The only change that we will do is we will change this capital W into a lowercase. Okay, we'll have to make it a part of an ongoing sentence. And the last but not the least, the most important part to remember, this is point number 1 and this is point number 2. The most important part that we need to understand is this one. Let me say that very clearly and with a lot of stress. Every question has to be changed back to a statement. So why? Because जब तक person A ने person B से कोई सवाल पूछा तब तक तो वो सवाल है. But when the person B reports it to a third party, to a person C, that is a statement, right? मतलब मुझसे किसी ने पूछा कैसे हैं आप और मैं आपको indirectly बता रहा हूँ तो मैं क्या बोलूँगा, मुझसे किसी ने पूछा था कि मैं कैसा हूँ. Do you get it? So it has to be changed back into a statement, everyone. Let me explain what I'm saying. So firstly, let's start with some confirmative questions. All right. He said to me, are you going home? This is a confirmative sentence because the answer will come in yes or no. So reported speech sentence meaning would be positive. Yes, it has to be converted back into a simple declarative sentence. मुझे एक दो sentence और बताएं. He said to me, let's assume this, did you meet her today? ठीक हो गया. Any more examples that come into your mind? I want you to give me a sentence ताकि वो हो जाए कि जो मेरे दिमाग में आ रहा था sir has converted that. चलें जी. Zahra, this is a informative question. I want you to give me a confirmative sentence for now. Informative इसके फौरन बात करेंगे हम लोग. He said to me, "Are you taking classes?" चलें ये कर लेते हैं जी. He said to me. उसामा, अगर मैं इसको डू यू टेक क्लास कर लूँ कोई मसला, क्योंकि प्रेजेंट कंटिन्यूअस हमारे पास ऑलरेडी है, तो मैं इसको कर रहा हूँ जी डू यू टेक क्लासेस. ठीक हो गया. अच्छा जी. एंड द लास्ट वन इज ही सेड टू मी. जस्ट फॉर द सेक ऑफ वैरायटी आई एम चेंजिंग योर सेंटेंस. डिड यू ईट योर लंच. ठीक है. डिड यू ईट योर लंच. ठीक है. Let's have this. She said to me, comma and inverted comma begin. Salim, it is again an informative question. So have you finished your assignment? ठीक है जी. And it has to end with this. Now take a look at this one, guys. He said to will be replaced with asked or inquired. He asked me. Now we're dealing with the confirmative question, so I will use if. Again, this is the subject. It has to come before because I'm trying to change it into a statement. और statement में हमेशा आपका subject पहले आता है, helping verb बाद में आता है. यहाँ पर आप देखें, helping verb is coming before the subject. So he asked me if I. Now we have to change the tense to past. Present continuous goes into past continuous. If I was going home. And now this is a statement, so we don't have to use a question mark anymore. We will change it into a full stop. That's answer number one. Again, he said to ki jagah aa gaya asked me if I, because second person changes according to the listener. So if I, past simple goes into past perfect. If I had met, third person does not change, so her as it is aa jayega. If I had met her that day. And your answer is done. Number 3, he asked me if I, present simple changes into past simple, if I took classes. Now remember, बहुत सारे लोगों को दिल चाह रहा होगा कि यहाँ पे did लगाएं. Did लगाएंगे तो भाई वो अभी भी एक statement नहीं बनेगा. It will still be a question. ठीक है. I mean, if you say did I took classes, that is wrong. Did I take class? It is still a statement. It is still a question. We have to convert it back into a statement. ये समझ आती है बात बच्चों? So the next one, he asked me if I had, past simple goes into past perfect. If I did, only use in negative and interrogative sentences. Exactly. And we don't want an interrogative sentence anymore. So he asked me if I had eaten my lunch. Why did I use my? Because this is a second person pronoun and it should be changed according to the listener. ठीक है जी. And then the last part, is this wrong? What is wrong? He asked me if I have taken classes. If I have taken classes कहाँ पर है? This is present simple. Sam, if it is present simple, it should go into past simple. Why are you converting present simple into present perfect? And it is, why are you using a question mark at the end? It has to be changed into a question. It has to be changed into a statement. It is not a question anymore. ठीक है. ये 2 mistakes हैं इस तुम्हारे आंसर में. अच्छा जी. Last one is she asked me if I had finished my assignment. Why again? So this is present perfect. It has to be changed into past perfect. Here the helping verb is coming first, but here the subject is coming first. So now we are doing your changes according to the listener, and that's why I have used my. ठीक है जी. Do you want to copy this या आगे चलें? चलें जी, copy this, no issues. Whether आप if की जगह लगा सकते हैं. It's a choice between if and whether. I personally like to use if, so I'm okay with if. सर लेक्चर स्लाइड्स शेयर कर दिया करें ग्रुप में at the end of the sure. It will be done. Why you don't like weather? Aisha, I don't like weather because I get confused in weathers. मतलब climate वाला weather या ये वाला weather I always paper में मैं ये risk नहीं ले सकता कि कौन सी spelling सही है या कौन सी spelling गलत है. So I'll go with the safe side. I want to secure my marks. That's it. ठीक है जी. Now moving on. Whether WH questions will not have this. Let's convert those. अच्छा जी, WH questions में क्या करेंगे? Give me some WH questions. First one is she said to me, I messaged you for the answer key of tenses. I'm really sorry. There are so many messages for that. आप मुझे अभी message कर दें with the name. I'll send it to you. ठीक है जी. She said to me, let's convert some of these. What are you doing? And the punctuation has to be correct. She said to me, why are you sad? Okay. She said to me, why are you sad? Achha, make sure that you give good importance to this part because this is the favorite part of examiner in terms of narration. He said to me, Salim, this is a good question. Where have you been? Next. He said to her, who is your favorite? This is also a very good question. ये एक अच्छा point हमारे सामने लेके आएगा. And she said to me, sorry, when will you come to Pakistan? Okay. चलें जी. I'm sorry यार, इसके बाद वाले sentences मैं वैसे orally convert कर दूंगा. I will not write them down. 5 are I guess enough. Why aren't you taking interest in your studies? ठीक है जी. She said to me, when will you come to Pakistan? चलें जी. Let's convert this. The first one. She asked me what I was doing. Now take a look. The subject comes first, the helping verb comes later, and then we have the simple verb. WH में ये change हुआ है कि हमारा जो upper case में W था, that has come into a lower case now. That's it. And it's a statement now. Then again, second one. She asked me why I was so sad. Yes, that's a good thing. अरीबा, that क्यों नहीं आया? That क्यों नहीं आया? Because हमने यहाँ पे बोला था कि connecting word इन दोनों में से एक होगा. That declarative के साथ खत्म. That will only be used in some sentences, not all of them. ठीक है? In declarative sentences, the connecting word was that, but in interrogative sentences, the connecting word is either WH or if and whether. ठीक है? Aisha, Rana, why we use so? It's a conjunction, but it is not related to this part. When we'll talk about conjunctions, we'll definitely discuss that. अच्छा जी, नेक्स्ट वन मेरे साथ करने की कोशिश कीजिएगा जी. शी आस्क्ड मी व्हाई आई वाज सो सैड. अच्छा, अगर ये वाला जो सैड है, नहीं सो तो है ही नहीं, ठीक है. व्हाई वाज सैड, दैट्स इट. Done. She asked me why I was sad. Number 3. He asked me where I had been. Achha, I said, Salim, that this is a good question. Can anyone tell me that is this a helping verb or a main verb? Anyone? Salim has introduced that this is the main verb now because there is no other verb regarding after been. All right. This is again a good question. So he asked her who was her her favorite actor was. Here, who is a WH question? Yes, it's a WH word. Yes, but it is also a subject. Okay. Again, we have to convert it back into a statement. तो ये हमारा subject है जी, and then we have the verb. The last one is pretty simple. So she asked me when I would come. You converted it into a passive? Nope, I did not. She asked me when I would come to Pakistan. अच्छा, जहरा एक basic सी example बताऊं. Identification of a passive voice, there has to be a third form of verb. If there is no third form of verb, there cannot be a passive. This is not the third form of verb, beta. ठीक है? सलीम देखो, अगर मैं इसको यूं रखता, सेकंड लास्ट में फिर से बता रहा हूं, अगर मैं इसको रखता यूं, तो अभी भी ये क्या है? ये क्वेश्चन है क्योंकि मेरे पास हेल्पिंग वर्ब पहले आ रहा है. डू यू गेट इट? तो मुझे यहां से ही उठा के एंड पे रखना. दैट्स द थिंग इन दिस सेंटेंस. कहफ आपका आंसर बिल्कुल सेम है. तो this is what we have done. So if you have understood this, I'm going to give you some sentences just to check कि आपको when will you be coming to Pakistan. Why are we changing the tense? If it is in present future simple, we just change will into would. Why do we change the question, the tense of the question? Sam? Chala. So I'm sure that you know this basic part. That's why I am giving you this exercise. Sir, just asking for of this is a correct structure for sentence. If this is a sentence, correct structure for the sentence, nahin, this is not the correct answer because you have changed the entire tense into a different one. Will should go into would. Can you convert these, everyone? Can we convert these, everyone? Challenge, you have 5 minutes. In fact, 5 minutes are too much. 3 minutes to convert these. All right, the answer number one is he asked me when will the train arrive. The answer should be he asked me when the train would arrive. That's the correct answer. Is it okay if I just say the sentences, say the answers, or do you want me to write it down? All right. So he asked me when the train would arrive. Okay, I'll write it down. Don't worry. All right. So he asked me when the train would arrive. Okay, I'll write it down. Don't worry. Okay, challenging. We are converting this now. He asked me when the train would arrive. Okay. So then Shakir is the listener. We have to bring him out of the sentence. So she asked Shakir. Should I use WH word or if now? She asked Shakir if he preferred tea or coffee. Clear? Since it is a confirmative question, so we need to use if now. So this one is an informative question, so we will simply use Kareem asked where Moin was, and that's your correct answer. So moving on, he asked if I. Now this is a very good question because see, you have a second person and you don't have any listener, so it gives you total liberty of converting it into any pronoun you want. I'm converting into I. It can go into he, she, it, whatever you like. He asked if I would repose trust in such a person. Are we matching so far, everyone? ठीक है जी. She asked. Okay, now this is a tricky part because now the examiner has played with us and he has given us two different types of sentences. So we have to tackle it accordingly. She said that she was going shopping because it is a declarative sentence, and asked if she could get me anything. Any questions in this? It's a combination sentence. It is a combination of declarative and an interrogative sentence, so we are using the rules accordingly. For the first half, we have used declarative sentences, and the second half is dealt with the help of all the rules related to interrogative sentence. ठीक है जी ये? इसमें कोई क्वेश्चन किसी का? मेरे बच्चों, do you have any questions? No questions. Let's move on. Are you looking for something special? The shop assistant asked if I was looking for something special. All right? And that's how we deal with interrogative sentences. I hope that all the answers are correct. Furthermore, I will give you a lot of questions to practice. I will send you a whole handout in the groups. इसमें कोई मसले मसाइल बताएं तो अगर हैं तो प्लीज यू आर वेलकम टू डिस्कस. All clear, everyone? Chale. Let's move on to the next part. Now, this is a type of sentence which is not that important individually, but examiner usually puts it with a combination with other types of sentences. This is called an imperative sentence, and it has what, everyone? So it is a command. So said to will be changed into requested, ordered, advised, urged. It has to be a second form. So it has to be requested, ordered, advised, instructed, commanded, plead, urged, anything. That should be according to the feel of the sentence, according to the mood of the sentence. All right? So then we have the connecting word. The connecting word this time is to now, right? And this is a good part about this imperative sentence, that there is no other change apart from this. There is no conversion. It has to be changed into a declarative sentence, yes, but there is no conversion of tenses in this. Let me just give you some few examples. He said to me, please listen to your mother. Now, what do you think? It is an order? Is it an advice? क्या लगता? He said to the peon, get out of my office. What do you think, everyone? A request or a hardcore order, a command? So this is an order. Then the most difficult sentence in this part of conversion can be a negative sentence. He said to him, in fact, he said to her, do not betray or cheat your friends. Now, this is the only variety that examiner can throw in this one. Command and order is the same thing. It's the same thing. Okay, let's convert this one by one, everyone. So if you think that this is a request or an advice, we will do that accordingly. So he advised me to listen to my mother. Right? He advised me to listen to my mother. Now you have to eliminate the effect of please. So he advised me politely. Clear? Then the second part is he ordered or instructed, प्लीज है तो रिक्वेस्टेड भी कर सकते हैं, बिल्कुल ठीक है, ये लें जी, ये भी सही है, दिस इज अ बेटर आंसर, बल्कि ही रिक्वेस्टेड मी, ठीक है, ही रिक्वेस्टेड मी टू लिसन टू माय मदर। ओके जी, he said to the peon, he ordered the peon to get out of his office. Now you should be able to see this. There are no changes of tenses happening, right? The tricky part is this one. It gives you two options. Okay. The first one is do it by the book. He advised her not to betray her friends. And the second option that we can have, uh, yes, it can be from his office, but the initial question is off, so we will continue with the same preposition that is given in the original question. Clear? Okay. He advised her not to betray her friends, and the second option that we have here is he forbade her to betray her friends. That is the only difficult part that can appear, right? So this is, if there is no listener, then how do we use the connecting word? Uh, let's convert this. He said, get out. He ordered. We assume it, or we can left it. He ordered somebody. Okay, we can assume it as somebody or someone. Let's convert some sentences now. फॉरबेड है तो फिर नॉट नहीं आएगा, बिकॉज बुरी बात से मना करना या किसी भी नेगेटिव सेंटेंस में फॉरबेड लगाने का मतलब यही कि इट इज अ नेगेटिव इंस्ट्रक्शन. नाउ convert these everyone. The first one requires that forbidding part. In fact, the first three sentences are like that. So 1 minute is sufficient, and I will read the answers this time only. Try all of them and send me the answers in the comment box. Okay, I'll show you the previous page for a minute. There you go. Going back to the questions now. Okay, Ji, the first one is he don't make so much noise. He said the answer is he forbade me to make so much noise, option number one. And if you make it according to the second one, it should be he ordered me not to make so much noise. Clear? The second one, my friend said to me, don't be late tomorrow. My friend advised me not to be late tomorrow. My friend ordered me not to be late tomorrow is fine. And the second option is my friend forbade me to be late tomorrow. Tomorrow ki jagah, the next day. So my friend advised me not to be suggested or requested, anything is fine. My friend requested me not to be late the next day. Clear? I've written he forbade them to make so much noise. Is that okay? He forbade them to make so much noise. It's fine. It's perfectly fine because we do not have any listener. We are at total liberty to use any pronoun that we want. If there is no said to, there is only said. Will we change? Yes, we will change. Look at number 4. First, we'll convert number 3. My father said to me, "Don't waste your money." So the advice is the answer is my father advised me not to waste my money, or my father forbade me to waste my money. Clear. She said, "Babar, stop smoking." She ordered Babar to stop smoking. 1. She forbade Babar to smoking. She forbade Babar from smoking, in fact. And the last one is he said, "Meet me at the cinema." He advised me to meet, yeah, he instructed me to meet at the cinema. Simple. Sir, we can't change the tense. That then how would we change the order of words mean tomorrow to next day? Yeah, now this is a gray area, Asif. This is a good question that you have asked. We're not changing the tenses, but we're not changing the tenses because the structuring or the construction of the sentence is like that. But apparently, you can see that all the reporting speech is in past. So we cannot change the tense because ये हमारी मजबूरी है. Rest of the changes has, they have to be made. ठीक है? Meet me at the cinema? Question mark nahi. He advised, he ordered, he instructed to meet him at the cinema. The first person changes according to the speaker. ठीक है? The final answer, he advised to meet him at the cinema. ठीक हो गया जी. So the next type of sentence that we have is an exclamatory sentence. Now this exclamatory sentence is a sentence which contains a feeling of happiness, a feeling of joy, a feeling of sorrow. So accordingly, whatever the mood of the sentence is, whatever the feeling of the sentence is, we'll use the said to word according to that. If you think it's a sentence about happiness, use happiness or joy. Or if you think that this is all about sorrow or grief, then try to use it accordingly. Pronouns के rules सब में same रहेंगे बेटा. This time the connecting word is that is coming back into action, and all exclamatory sentences must be changed back into a declarative sentence. Now there are two basic types of exclamatory sentence. Let me show you that. One exclamatory sentence is, it looks something like this. He said, comma, and inverted comma begin, hurrah, and then there is an exclamation mark, hurrah, we have won the match, right? And then the sentence ends. Now it can simply be converted into he exclaimed with joy, sorrow, wonder. What should I use? This word, this interjection is an indication of happiness. तो क्या करें सर? He exclaimed with joy that they had won the match. Present perfect changed into past perfect. First person here to changed into the speaker, and that's why we have they. Now this is a pretty easy sentence to target because we have a clear instruction कि जी hurrah है तो happiness होगी, alas है तो sorrow होगा. But let's take a look at this one. He said, tense will also change. Yes, he said, what a beautiful painting it is. Now this one, I always see, you see something and you get overwhelmed by that. I mean, I'm reading a book called Chicken Soup for Soul, and the stories are so amazing. Every story that you read, it gives you shivers, literally. So I read the book and I said, "Kya book hai yaar?" Now, when I say "kya book hai," it is literally translated into English and into an exclamatory sentence. What a book it is, right? So here, we'll have to intensify it. What do we have to do, sir? First of all, he exclaimed with wonder. One thing, it's a sudden overwhelmed attack, overwhelmed feeling. So he exclaimed with wonder that it was a beautiful painting. But it does not do justice with that. So we have to intensify it because look at the feeling here. So we'll have to do something like he exclaimed with wonder that it was a very beautiful painting, or it was a really beautiful painting, or it was an exceedingly, something to expand the intensity, right? Exceedingly beautiful painting. Do you get it, guys? So I'll go with it was a very beautiful painting. So this is the second type of exclamatory sentence. It was such a beautiful painting. It's fine. Yes. It's perfectly fine, Sam. Clear? These are the two types of exclamatory sentences that you will see. Let's take a look. Achha. After the operative sentence, we are going to solve our past paper. Can you convert these 4 sentences for me? Can we use exclaim with admiration? Yes, it's perfectly fine. So first one, do we use indirect narrative in Precis writing? Mostly yes. In fact, 99% cases yes. Because we know as a rule that we cannot copy paste anything from the original paragraph. We have to rephrase it. Yes, Zahra? All right, guys, give me the answers. Salim, Zahra, Ariba, Manisha. Let's see some answers, guys. First one, he said, "Hurrah, we have won the match." He exclaimed with sorrow that he was ruined. Okay, this is the second one. The first one is he said, "Hurrah, we have won the match." So he exclaimed with joy that they had won the match. In fact, present perfect goes into past perfect. The second one is, "Alas, I'm ruined." He exclaimed with sorrow that he was ruined. Number 3, she said, "What a beautiful scenery it is." She exclaimed with wonder, or she exclaimed with excitement that it was a very beautiful scenery. Grief हो सकता है जी, grief हो सकता है, बिल्कुल हो सकता है. And the second sentence, right, Aisha? And the last part says, he said how lovely this painting is. What is the answer, guys? He exclaimed with joy, surprise, excitement, or wonder that it was a very lovely painting. Clear? He exclaimed with excitement that it was a very lovely painting. Clear? Great. The parts, after this part, we will have the past paper. All right. So, rules of operative sentences. An operative sentence is a sentence which contains a feeling, no, not a feeling, it contains a pray, wish, curse, blessing, or things similar to that. Connecting word is again that, and all operative sentences must be converted back into declarative sentences. यानी जब किसी ने मुझे दुआ दी तो वो दुआ मेरे लिए है. But when I'm telling a third person, I'm telling you इट इज जस्ट अ स्टेटमेंट फॉर यू. मैं आपको एक फैक्ट बता रहा हूं कि मुझे फलां बंदे ने दुआ दी थी. डू यू गेट इट? दैट्स द लॉजिक बिहाइंड इट. So, the first sentence, mother said to me, may you live long. It can be handled in very very easy manner. Mother said to me, may you live long. तो मैं या तो बोल सकता हूँ जी, mother prayed for my long life. That's number one. Mother prayed that mother prayed for me that I might live long. That's the word to word or mechanical translation, mechanical conversion, if you put it that way. He said, may you recover very soon. Would you care to convert this for me, please? Kahaf, Manisha, Ariba, Salim. The whole sentence, please. Sam कहते हैं जी, he prayed for me to recover soon. ठीक है, कोई और ऑप्शन बना सकता है इसका? He prayed for me that I might recover very soon. ये बिल्कुल वही है, मैकेनिकल पार्ट. So the second sentence, Zahra, second sentence. That I lived long नहीं, मे को कन्वर्ट करें ना, मे को might में लेके आए. He wished me to recover soon. ये भी ठीक है सर. इसका और आसान तरीके से अगर बनाने की कोशिश करें तो the perfect answer would be he prayed for my quick recovery. Yes or no? टेंस चेंज हुआ ना. He prayed. may है प्रेजेंट में and prayed हमने ऑटोमेटिकली उसको पास में चेंज कर दिया. We also have to use that. No, I said it was always optional. You can go around it. Next one. The captain said, would that we had won the match. Now, it is a conditional sentence. In the coming classes, we will also talk about conditional sentences. This is actually, we have to convert it back into type 3. So, ये क्या बन जाएगा जी, बताएगा कोई? The captain said, would that we had won the match. What do you think? Is it a pray? Is it a wish? Sir, it is definitely a wish. So the captain wished that they had won the match. Because it is already in past perfect, we cannot change it any further into any other tense. So we will just change the structuring of the sentence. So the captain wished that they had won the match. The change of pronoun is there, the change of punctuation is there. Do we understand it, everyone? Sir, the next part is, he said, would that I were in Washington. काश मैं Washington में होता. ठीक है जी. I know it's a bit confusing. Why is it a bit confusing? Because we are just doing it all without further practice. I'll give you the handout. Try to solve it as quickly as possible. You will get a lot of understanding. अभी एक पास पेपर भी solve करते हैं, समझ में आ जाएगा कि कैसे change होगा. नहीं, would तो हट गया ना बेटा, बिल्कुल. आयशा. The captain said, he said, would that I were in Washington. He wished that he, converted guys, he wished that he had been in Washington. So past simple or past continuous, further push it back to past, it should go into past perfect or past perfect continuous. So he wished that he had been in Washington. Clearer? Salim, you made a mistake in this one. Are you clear on this one? Chale. And the last one, sir, people said, would that the Qaid-e-Azam were alive to see our fate. काश Qaid-e-Azam जिंदा होते और हमारी तकदीर देखते, हमारे हालात देखते. ठीक है जी. तो what is the answer? Sam, second last answer आपका बिल्कुल ठीक है बेटा. People said, would that the Qaid-e-Azam were alive to see our fate. The answer would be, people wish that Qaid-e-Azam had been alive to see our fate. Clear about the last part? सब बता दें एक दफा so that we can move on to the past papers. Once again, people wished that Quaid-e-Azam had been alive to see their fate. ठीक है जी, चलें सर एक जरा स्पीड में मेरे साथ एक रिवाइज करिएगा. ठीक है. We have two types of narrations. One is direct and the other one is indirect. When we repeat anything in the exact words of the speaker, what type are we using? So we are using direct narration. And when we change it in our own words, that is indirect narration, right? So direct narration has two parts. One is outside the inverted commas, one is inside the inverted commas. One that is inside the inverted commas is called what? So reported speech. And the outer part is called reporting speech. If reporting speech is in past, what do we do? If reporting speech is in past, we change the tense of the reported speech. If reporting speech is in present, then what do we do? So no change in the tense. And if the reporting speech is in past, but there is a universal truth, habitual action or repeated action in the reported speech, तो क्या करें? No change at all, sir. So further rules: speaker of reporting speech will affect the first person of reported speech. Listener will affect the second person, and third person will have no change. Clear? Sir, everything, if reporting speech is in past, then if we have any present tense, where do we change it? We change it into its own past. Yes or no? Yes. Sir, if we have reporting speech is in past, then every will changes into would. And in past, only two types of tenses change. That is past simple or past continuous. Yes or no? Then we have five types of sentences. Declarative sentence, we covered that up. Operative sentence, we did that. Imperative sentence is a command or instruction. We have covered that too. Questions are of two types. We have covered that, sir. And the last part, which one am I missing? Exclamatory sentence is a sentence which contains a feeling of happiness, joy, or sorrow. Let's talk about the past paper now. Which contains a feeling of happiness, joy, or sorrow. Let's talk about the past paper now. Acha. It's a very good question. 2016 was the year when the syllabus of FPSC was a bit changed. उसके बाद से हमारे पास जो नरेशन है वो आया दो पेपर्स में. ठीक है. Are you still with me, guys? All right. So we are talking which contains a feeling of happiness, joy, or sorrow. Let's talk about the past paper now. Acha. It's a very good question. 2016 was the year when the syllabus of FPSC was a bit changed. उसके बाद से हमारे पास जो नरेशन है वो आया दो पेपर्स में. ठीक है. Are you still with me, guys? All right. So we are talking about this paper. Can you see it? अब मैं इसको सॉल्व करने का तरीका आपको बता देता हूं जी. Now we go to question number 5, part B. Here we have rewrite the following dialogue written in indirect speech in a paragraph form. Now this is a clear instruction that it has to be in a paragraph form. It's a dialogue between two people. We have Helen and we have Mr. West. Now, if you take a closer look, Helen is continuously bombarding Mr. West with questions. Yes? All right. So Helen says, Mr. West, what has happened to John? Mr. West is, and for every question, Mr. West is giving a declarative sentence either in positive or negative form. Yes or no? All right. So Mr. West, what has happened to John? He has left the company. Why has he done that? He asked me for a raise, but I did not give it to him. Why didn't you give him a raise? Because he was lazy. Has he found another job? Yes, he is working in a film company. What is his salary like? I think he earns quite a lot. Does he like the new job? I don't know, finally. All right. My first question is, how will you start this question? Come on, guys. Think about it. Gee, everyone. This, Zahra, this question. How will you start this question? Acha, 90% of the student would start with this. Helen asked Mr. West, or Helen worried, or Helen this, Helen that. They would directly start with this statement. Would you not do this? यही होगा ना भाई. तो हम करेंगे सर इसको थोड़ा सा एक काम एक्स्ट्रा. सही है? Because it has to be in a paragraph form, it has to be compact. ठीक है? हम इसको लेंगे एक स्टेप पीछे. हम क्या करेंगे? Helen and Mr. West were having a conversation about John. Step number 1. ये कोई भी नहीं करेगा. सही है? So Helen and Mr. West were having a conversation about John, and Helen asked Mr. West what had happened to John, and then you start with that, right? Is it not better? No, Zahra, why are we doing that? Because it is again a competitive exam. If your answer is matching with with the rest of the copies, you will get the marks which are equal to the rest of the copies, right? You have to stand above, and you have to stand head and shoulders above these people. Your copy has to be different. Your communication, your writing has to be different. It is a competitive exam after all. Yes or no? Yes. So we'll start with this. The second update that I want you to do, when you see this, you have 4 to 5 different questions. We cannot use asked in every single one of them. We cannot use inquired in every single one of them. So I want you to generate, before you solve this question, I want you to generate all the synonyms of ask. Can you give me some? For example, we can use asked, we can use inquired, we can use this. In a discussion with Mr. West, Helen inquired about John. Bilkul theek hai Sam. Yes, you can start like this. So we can use asked. Once एक word दोबारा से repeat नहीं करना. Let me repeat that again. We are not supposed to repeat a single word again. So asked once, inquired second, interrogated third, confirmed fourth, questioned fifth. Give me some more. Give me some more synonyms, everyone. Investigated, ठीक है, queried, और चलें. अच्छा, ये काम आप कहां पर करेंगे? जब आपके पास कॉपी होगी, you'll go back to the last page and you'll solve it in a rough manner there. Demanded an answer. ठीक है. ठीक है जी, आपके पास हो गई कोई 8 से 10 synonyms ask के, because you don't want to repeat the same word again and again, right? Then for Mr. West's responses, you can have answered once, you can have replied twice, you can have some more word. बताएं जी, क्या बताएंगे और? Answered, informed, replied. Mr. West की तरफ से now Ali Hassan told आ जाएगा जी. और think about it, you need to have at least 5. Explained, or agreed, replied, responded. तो 5 वर्ड्स हमारे पास ही आ गया. ट्राई टू मेक श्योर दैट व्हेनेवर यू आर आंसरिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर पार्ट, आपने इनमें ये सारे वर्ड्स एक दफा अगर यूज हो गया तो उसको रिपीट नहीं करिएगा. क्लियर? चलें. Now take a look at this one again. Sir, it is a combination of only what? Interrogative and declarative. Interrogative and declarative. Interrogative and declarative. Again interrogative and declarative and so on. So forth. The whole question is made like that. कर लेंगे ये? Sir, will you be able to do it? Yes or no? ठीक है. So your first homework is past paper of 2016 and the second one is past paper of 2018, English, Prescient Composition. This is the second past paper and here we have another homework. I'm not discussing this question with you. This you'll have to figure it all by yourself. ठीक है जी. Again, this is a dialogue. You have to convert that into a paragraph form. This is not a handout, Ali Hassan. This is a past paper. आप note कर लो, past paper of 2016 and past paper of 2018. Clear? 2 different tasks for the homework. अच्छा, ये 2 हो गए तब से जब हमारा सिलेबस हुआ है चेंज. इसके पीछे आपने जाना है 20 for further practice material. Now we are discussing the practice material. I'm sending you the homework. I'm sending you a handout where you can practice for this. उसके अलावा जितने भी पास्ट पेपर्स आपके पास अवेलेबल हैं इंटरनेट पे, ट्राई टू सॉल्व ऑल ऑफ देम. जितने भी क्वेश्चन नरेशन के आपको नजर आते हैं वो सब अब आपके जिम्मे होगा. क्लियर? मेरे बच्चों, डू यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस? चलें जी. जितने भी मिलते हैं आपको सबकी प्रैक्टिस करना है. ठीक है? आप CSS पॉइंट पे चले जाएं, CSS फोरम पे चले जाएं. यूजुअली दे हैव ऑल द क्वेश्चंस. सो माय हैंडआउट, ऑल द पास्ट पेपर्स एंड देन इट विल बी डन. नरेशन विल बी डन इंशाल्लाह. नेक्स्ट क्लास में इसको एक दफा स्टार्ट में देख लेंगे कि व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम. इफ वी आर फेसिंग एनी काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्लम इन एनी क्वेश्चन, विल टॉक अबाउट दैट. ठीक हो गया? Sir, please tell me how we will start the narrative. Zahra, we will start in a form like Mr. West and Helen were having a conversation and Helen asked about John. Okay? You can see the recorded lecture for this part. We have discussed this at length. इसके अलावा any further questions? Anyone? सर वोकैबुलरी के वर्ड्स भी ग्रुप में शेयर कर दीजिएगा. डन हो गया जी, डन हो गया. अच्छा, ऐसा है यार कि व्हाट वी आर गोइंग फॉर the vocabulary and every other resources and notes that will be shared with all the registered students. So make sure that you have all the registration process done. Company policy, you can say. ठीक है जी. चलें, I'll share it with you in the group. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.